Good afternoon, muy buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a esta linda celebración de las tradiciones guatemaltecas con el tiempo. Welcome today to the traditional celebration of time. And why are we here today? To celebrate Bak'tun 13, the 13th Bak'tun. It's the last Bak'tun of the Mayan calendar that was made many thousands of years ago. And unlike reported, it is not the end of the world. It is, in fact, the beginning. It's a new beginning for us, for all of us. And we had the opportunity to have an interview with BBC. So on the 17th, you'll hear our artist who made the sawdust carpet, Ubaldo Sanchez, who's right there, and you'll be seeing a lot of him. And Luis Perez, he also participated in the making of this wonderful rug. But Ubaldo and our shaman, Don Jose, were interviewed by BBC. So on the 17th, they'll be streaming it. I don't know exactly the time. It'll be broadcast in England, and then it will be, I guess they're gonna put it on the computer. So look it up to hear what they say about the time. And it really is about the beginning of a new era for all of us. So it's an opportunity for all of us. Como saben, estamos celebrando el Bak'tun 13, o el 13 Bak'tun, y tuvimos la oportunidad de dar una entrevista con la BBC de Inglaterra, y Ubaldo Sánchez y nuestro shaman, Don José, hicieron unos comentarios muy interesantes. Espero que el 17 de diciembre miren en la computadora para ver el tiempo que lo van a poner en el aire. Entonces, hoy les traemos en cooperación con el museo aquí del National Museum of the American Indian y también con la OEA y con los Friends del Museo Ixchel. We're the Friends of the Ixchel Museum, which is the textile museum in Guatemala, and it's a 40-year-old museum, and we've been collecting textiles for longer than that. And we're going to bring you some textiles from the collection of the Friends of the Ixchel Museum that have been donated to us by some of the collectors here in the United States who were collecting in the 40s and the 50s. So I hope that you'll enjoy the fashion show over time. Things change over time. And we'd like to start with one of the departments, which is Guatemala. It's a state, just like we have New York State. We have Guatemala. And we begin with San Pedro, Zacatepec. And the language there is Cachiquel. And if you'll see, what she's wearing is the traje. She has a sute around her shoulders. She's wearing a ceremonial huipil, and it's made with silk. Silk is you always know an old huipil, if you're buying, if it has silk threads, because it's very unusual for them to use it. The corte, or the skirt, is made on not on a backstrap loom, but on a floor loom. And she's wearing, I want you to notice the sute that she's wearing on her head, and notice just the difference in colors. What she's wearing on her head is very modern. The rest of her outfit comes from the 40s and 50s. So you'll see the little difference in the colors of the stripes. And this is one of the towns that is most collected by us Americans up here in the States because of the colors and because it's close to Antigua, Guatemala, which is a place where people are always go as a tourist space. So, San Pedro, Zacatepec. So now we move on to San Juan, Zacatepec, which is a neighboring town. And as you see, there's a similarity in the traje. She has a sobre huipil again. She's underneath, she's wearing the daily huipil, which is worn every day. That's the blouse. And you see her wonderful headdress is now made of ribbons, lots of colorful ribbons, where before it might have been a different one, but this is a very modern incarnation of the tocado, or the headdress. You'll notice that in her huipil, she has both the tree of life and also the I think it's the double-headed serpent, and not serpent, but the bird, as well as the okay, I think that's great. If you show, Iris, if you could show the other huipil, this is one of the ones that has silk threads, and it is an older one, and you see the difference in colors. It's a little bit less intense. Sometimes they're dyed with purpura, which is a snail, and it's purple, and the purple color comes from a snail. Usually found in the Tehuantepec, up in Mexico. That's really where it comes from. Okay, let's go down to it. From Guatemala, we're going to go south to Escuintla, Palin. Now this is a very short huipil as compared to the other ones. You'll see this is a ceremonial huipil that she's wearing. It has the double-headed eagle. It's a little bit stylized, but this is a symbol that you're going to see throughout the huipils. That again, you saw that everybody has a corte. Their skirt is blue, and it's actually indigo, a natural dye indigo. And so this is a color that really all over the world has been used for blue, not one of the natural dyes. Our jeans used to be dyed with indigo. Okay, now we're going to go to the east, to Alta Verapaz, Tamau and Coban. Our young lady is wearing a huipil from Coban. This is a wonderful weave. It's very unique. It's almost lacy, but it's woven on a backstrap loom and then embroidered along the side, along the collar. A neighboring village, Tamau, as you can see, now the serpent is very big in this area. The serpent is believed to bring all wonderful, and you see her headdress is really imitating the serpent. Again, the short huipil, the very short huipil, but very blousy. Now the dress is something that was actually brought about by the Spaniards. Before the huipil was not as much in existence, but it has evolved to be tradicional. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction and go towards the lake. And this is Solola, which is in the city of Solola, but it's also the capital of the department of Solola. Este es el departamento de Solola. El huipil es ceremonial. Tiene dos huipiles. Lleva el huipil diario y el huipil ceremonial, que este actualmente es una copia de los 30 que se hicieron en los 80 para los turistas. Entonces, ella lleva el huipil ceremonial en la mano, que es de hoy en día. Los colores mucho más vivos, para ver la diferencia y cómo ha evolucionado los colores también. Vamos a los neon colors. Siguiendo el paisaje, bajando al lago de Atitlán, vamos a Atitlán, que se llama Santiago Atitlán, y ella lleva el huipil de Santiago Atitlán, más tradicional, con unos pequeños diseños En la mano lleva el huipil con diseños maya, mucho más moderno. Y su hijo, Alex, lleva los pantalones que también se usan mucho que es usa los pájaros. Estos pájaros actualmente los usaban mucho más eran más generales, pero llegaron en los 70 unos libros de los diseños de los pájaros de Tikal. Entonces ahora es como tradicional los pájaros de Tikal, aunque no son de ahí. Ahora seguimos a Quetzaltenango. Vamos en el camino llegando a la ciudad, la segunda ciudad de Guatemala, Quetzaltenango, Xela. Dina lleva el traje nuevo, este es el de Xela de la nueva ola. Está monocromático, o sea, en vez de tener muchos colores, lleva más bien el café, como una preferencia nueva. En la mano, ella lleva el ceremonial tradicional. In her hand, she has the traditional, huipil, which is the ceremonial one, which would be worn at weddings or by the cofradia. This is a very old huipil. It's from the 1930s. The other one that we have is the purple one, and that is one that is used during, if an older woman who has lost her husband might wear this, because she's in mourning. They don't wear black, but the purple would signify that it would be a mourning huipil. And as you see, the cortes, or the skirts, are these are full skirts, but they're actually made on floor looms, and they're very, very large pieces of cloth that are strung into a skirt, or as you saw in the red corte that is worn over at the lake, is just one piece of cloth that is wrapped. Now we go to Concepcion, Chiquirichapa. Stay over there. Concepcion, Chiquirichapa. You're going to see the our family from Concepcion, Chiquirichapa. You see the loom, the backstrap loom that is worn here. And this is a family that you'll be seeing much later today, because they are the ones who will be dancing. And I want to tell you that this is a community that has been doing wonderful things here in Virginia and the Washington, D.C. area. And their traje is beautifully woven on the backstrap loom. And their corte, you see, is again just very plain blue. And I'd like to comment a little bit on the dress of the men. They wear a sobre pantalón. This was really very much of a European influence, el sobre pantalón, because they were horseback riders. So this is something that was very much introduced. Vamos llegando. De ahí nos vamos a San Marcos, a San Juan, Zacatepec, San Marcos. Again, another sobre huipil. Underneath, she has the daily huipil. I want you to notice the corte here is very, very different, that yellow. And they used to be silk. Now this one is more on it's not as old as the other ones, but it's acrylic. But again, it has some jaspe through it. So, San Marcos, Zacatepec, San Pedro, Zacatepec de San Marcos. And then we go to the most visited town in I think the most touristic town besides Antigua is Chichicastenango. Her corte has a very fine, her skirt has a very fine jaspe to it. And what she has in her hand is a cofradia. A cofradia huipil is what she's actually, what she's wearing is the cloth for the tablecloth. And the huipil that she's carrying has silk in it as well as cuyuscate, which is the brown cotton. And if you'll visit our table, we have some examples of that brown cotton that is shown. Moving on from Chichicastenango, we're going to head up the mountains to Sacualpa with this beautiful, very subtle yellow, brown, red and purple. And again, the indigo dyed skirt. This is one that has not changed very much. Sacualpa seems to be very stable as a traje. And you'll see the differences. The one that she's carrying in her hand is an older one. And so you'll see that a little bit less red. The red is not as intense. Okay. So we have our last, up in the Cuchumatanes Mountains is the Nebaj, from the Ixil. One of the languages that's spoken here, the only language spoken here is Ixil. The Ixil. And Juanita is also our weaver here. She's demonstrating the weaving. And so she will present to you the song. Nebaj is also, I think, one of the more traditional towns. I have in my hand the ceremonial huipil, which I'm going to hold up for you. This is her rebozo. Very intricate signs there. And here is the ceremonial huipil that she would be wearing if she were a cofrade. Una de las cosas de los trajes de Guatemala es que nos sirven como una identidad, aunque están cambiando mucho. Le voy a pedir a Sherry que salga un momentito, que está tocando la marimba, a enseñarles el traje que ella lleva, porque este traje es de la nueva ola. Si nos puedes dar una vueltecita aquí. Ella lleva un huipil que se originó en Cobán, este traje. And se ha desarrollado ahora, es un traje que es lo más moderno. Tiene, this has mylar galore. In the 50s, mylar was very big, and now it has come back with a vengeance. And this huipil is now pan-Guatemalan. Every market that you go to, you can find this huipil. And this is where the huipils are going. People are wearing huipils from, it doesn't matter what town they're from, they're actually wearing the huipil that they like. Where in the past, you really were pretty much tradicional. But now this is the huipil that is being shown very often. We're going to give our models a big hand, por favor. Denle un aplauso. Vamos a dar una vuelta más aquí. We're going to let them go around one more time so that everybody can see it, see the huipils. And we're going to be around by the pictures so that you can come and talk to them. Come and look at the huipils a little closer, the sutes, the headdresses, the fajas. The fajas are the belts, so that you can all see very up close and personal. each of the dresses and how they come together. And as Juanita goes by, she's going to show you how she's putting on her tocado. She's going to put it on as she walks, and as this is something that is very common. People run down the street in Nebaj, and they're putting their headdress on. Maybe they're in a rush to get to work or to wherever they're going to be going. San Juan, Zacatepec. I'm sorry, San Pedro, Zacatepec, Guatemala. San Juan, Zacatepec, Guatemala. Palín, Escuintla. Cobán, Alta Verapaz. Tamaú, Alta Verapaz. Solola, Solola. Atitlán, Solola. Quetzaltenango, Oshela, Quetzaltenango. Concepcion, Chiquirichapa, Quetzaltenango. San Pedro, Zacatepec. San Marcos. Chichicastenango. Quiché. Sacualpa. Quiché. Nebaj. Quiché. Gracias. Espero que nos visiten en la mesa de los Friends de Ixchel Museum y luego vamos a tener una presentación de la marimba, aunque ha estado tocando mucho tiempo. Un aplauso para la pequeña marimba internacional, por favor.